Yamoshi. If you're in the Dragonball fandom, it's a name you've probably heard before, but you might not know the full meaning behind it. In a 2018 interview, Toriyama dropped a bombshell about the true origins of Super Saiyan and/or Super Saiyan God. As you can tell from the quote on screen, it's a little confusing about what he means exactly, but that's where we come in. Even before this information was given to us in the movie Battle of Gods, we were given a glimpse of the original Super Saiyan God and the legend Shenron talks about. The actual events behind this have always fascinated me, and I wish Dragon Ball would go and do a story about this character. But as the years go on and we continue to move forward, it seems more and more unlikely that we're ever going to get more information about Yamoshi from the series itself. So that's where I come in. Over the past 2 years, I've been working in the background on a project, larger in scope than anything I've done before, called the Legend of YAMOSHI. This will be a series telling that story of Yamoshi, Cumber, and the many other characters from this ancient time period, exploring the origins of the Saiyan race, how they came to be the people they are today, and what exactly Super Saiyan and its various other forms are. This will be a 12-part series, with each episode ranging from 10 to 20 minutes long. Now, they're not going to be animated, because doing that all by myself would actually kill me and never get released. Instead, they're going to be animatic episodes, fully voiced. A good example I can give you would be the work of Overly Sarcastic Productions, or Morsi's Heather's Animatics. Those styles of storyboarding mixed with music and audio I think is really appealing, and a much more feasible way of getting the story out there without needing to animate the entire thing and color it. Now, if anyone wants to take these animatic scenes and do their own animations when it comes out, feel free. Oh, and by the way, while I'm talking about supporting us, if you didn't know, Dragon Ball DC has a new episode out on Patreon. If you go over there and give it a watch, you not only support that series, but the upcoming Yamoshi series, Dragon Ball Superman, and many more projects. Let me do this more as a living. It really helps us out, so any support is absolutely appreciated. But back to the project at hand. At the moment, we're looking for voice actors for this project. It's been a while since we've given anyone a chance to audition for us, so we figured this would be the perfect opportunity to open our doors once again. In the description and the pinned comment, I've left a Google Doc link which will give you all the information about how to audition for this project and which characters are available. I'll go through some of the details in this video now, but if you want a quick and easy way just to jump in and do it yourself, follow that link, read it, and send in your auditions. The main thing I want to say up front though is, because of the nature of this series, the amount of time it's going to take me to draw it all, and the fact that we're just not a very big channel in comparison, this will be an unpaid project. Now in the future, there may be options for me to reimburse people for the work they've provided for us, but I don't want to make any false guarantees and make any false hopes. So if you're looking to this project as a way to earn money, I'm afraid you're going to have to sadly look elsewhere. But if you just want a chance to audition for something really cool, maybe use it for portfolio work, or you're just a fan and want to help out, this is what that's for. Completely understand everyone who doesn't want to audition for unpaid projects. It's completely fair. This is why this casting call is being transparent about that, so we don't run into any issues in the future. In terms of who you can audition for, we've got quite a few characters to choose from. So first of all, we have the titular character, Yamoshi himself. There'll be 2 spots for Yamoshi, Kid Yamoshi and Adult Yamoshi. Now, these could be by the same actor, but I'm also open to having them be different actors, given sometimes doing a child voice can be a little harder for someone, and I don't want to exclude having a very talented actor for the first Yamoshi role not being able to commit to that because they have to do both. So if we have to split it up, that's completely fine. If we can get the same person for both, that's even better. But we'll see what the auditions bring. So for the Kid Yamoshi, he's very quiet, he's very introspective, he's very deadpan, in that kind of blunt, unassuming way. For anyone who's ever watched or read the show Kuroko no Basket, the main character Kuroko there, and his sense of humor is kind of an idea of what we're going for here. Just this very unassuming, almost ghost-like figure that people don't really know what to do with because they don't show any emotion, and yet they seem to be more aware of what's going on from everyone else. So just a brief description. Yamoshi is the prince of Sadala, wishing to know the meaning of life. His goal is to meet God and ask them about it. He's a very calm, rational person. He has a dry sense of humor that catches others off guard. Now, that continues into his adult self. He just gets a little wiser, a little stronger, a little more mature, but almost a little more unsure of himself. The age, and you'll see throughout the series, that Yamoshi goes from having a very clear idea of what he wants, a very childish, simple view, to, as he learns more about the world, to wondering if that's the right path, if finding God is what he means it to be as a child. And I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but we'll see that develop as he meets new characters in his quest and how that changes as things go on. The main thing is, despite his design, Yamoshi is a very calm, kind character. He just has a lot of anger inside, but everything's under the surface with Yamoshi. You need to kind of peel back the layers to get like a good idea of who he is. He isn't someone that reveals his emotions very easily. He keeps things very close to the chest, very guarded. He keeps to himself. He's a very quiet person. Another good example would be Gaara from Naruto. Is that kind of vibe of someone who just likes peace and to keep to themselves, which is unusual for a Saiyan. The biggest kind of hitch about Yamoshi that's going to be a big part of who auditions for him. They need to be aware of this. Again, this is unpaid, so this is a lot of work. Please consider this beforehand if you audition for Yamoshi. This is the most work by far of any character, because the format of this series is Yamoshi narrating his events of his life to another character, Etana, which we'll get into in a second. And so Yamoshi is going to take the role of the narrator. He's going to be describing events that are happening, he's going to be giving you context, and he's going to be guiding us through the story as we go to see the events. So if you audition for Yamoshi, you're going to have to be able to play the character during the events, and then play the character after all of these events who is narrating those. Now that might sound confusing, but it will really pay off in the story, and I think it's really, really engaging, but whoever takes on that position has to be prepared. So I know Yamoshi looks really cool, and the Legend of YAMOSHI, everyone wants to be the main character. Just if you're going to audition with him, be aware of that and the workload that takes on. Whereas a lot of other characters don't have that amount of commitment, so they might be better options for most people. But if you think you can do it, go ahead and audition. I'd love to hear it. Next we have Cumber. In the same way as Yamoshi, he's got a kid self and he's got an adult self. Now Cumber is everything you know from Dragonball Heroes. If you've kept with that version of the character, kind of throw that out. We're not completely disregarding it, but we're going to show you how he became that guy. Cumber doesn't start out like that. How he becomes this fight-obsessed, kind of barbarian without a lot of intelligence and just malicious fight. This is everything that's on his mind. We're going to try and give an origin for where that came from and kind of the tragedy of how someone bright and happy and could have been a great figure of love became that, which I think will give us a lot of interesting drama. But starting out with Kid Cumber. Cumber is a street orphan who isn't too bright but loves fighting, seems to naturally make friends. He's also the strongest Saiyan who has ever been born. That's a very important fact for the stories. Cumber is the guy. Cumber is the strongest Saiyan in history. Maybe of all time, but definitely at the time of our series, without a doubt. Baby Cumber could be everyone on the planet, without question. And he wants nothing more than to have a truly close match with someone. It's the one thing he can't have because he's so strong. Now, if you look at his lines, you look at his descriptions, you'll maybe see similar vibes to another Dragon Ball character, a very popular, very important one. That's intentional, and anyone who can pick up on that, pick up on those nuances in his dialogue to evoke that character without doing just a straight copy, I think they're going to be more likely to get the role. And then for adult Cumber, this is much the same as the first one, in the same way as Yamoshi, just bigger, more honest, but Cumber's still basically a kid at heart, just a little bitter. He gets a little testier with the fact that he hasn't had a strong foe to fight still. That's a real sore spot for him. The main thing I want from Cumber, because we've had a few auditions already, and I haven't quite found someone who captures this, is I'm really looking for a bassy, deep, booming voice for Cumber. I want these kind of nice, happy lines to come out of a deep voice. I'm looking for like a Mufasa, James Earl Jones, Darth Vader type, to do this happy-go-lucky Dragon Ball character, because I think that's going to be a really interesting contrast, and that's how we wrote it in the script. So if someone can give a different take that's different from that, but I'm open to hearing it, and I'm down to change my opinion on that if the take sways me. But as a guideline, only really audition for adult Cumber if you can think you can do that presence, if you can do that booming voice of God type dialogue. You know, I'm looking for like Kevin Conroy, Batman, like we want that type of voice for Cumber. And it's kind of important that he has that presence to him. He can't sound like he's not 7 feet tall. Like Cumber is a big dude, so he needs that kind of reverberance for him. Next up, we've got Pamukin. I really like Pamukin. She's one of my favorite characters, so I hope a lot of people audition for her, because this is where we start getting into Yamoshi's basically the original character, but Toriyama gave us the name. Cumber's from Heroes. Everyone else, mostly from here on out, is OCs, which I'm really excited for you guys to get to meet them. So Pamukin is the world's first and only Saiyan magician. She's not too bright and gets carried away easily, but her heart is in the right place, which makes her uniquely powerful. Her goal is to put on a performance for the entire planet and make everyone's dreams come true. There's a young and adult version for her, but you can audition for them separately, or you can audition for them together. Next, we have a really important character, Etana. Now, Etana is an Namekian that encounters Yamoshi's spirit. He's a warrior type, but useless at fighting. Lacking a place among his culture, he becomes a writer. It remains unsatisfied and unsure of himself. Now, if anyone remembers Dragon Ball Super and the Namekian Book of Legends, and how that knows about the Legend of YAMOSHI, this is our attempt at trying to answer that mystery with Etana. He's going to be who Yamoshi is telling the story to, and we're going to see him grow and change over the course of the series as well. The main thing with Etana is he's very boastful, but insecure at the same time. He makes himself bigger than he actually feels because he's trying to overcompensate. But he's also very wise, and he does have talent. It's just he doesn't know quite where his place in everything is. So he tries to force it. He tries to force himself into something that won't fit instead of accepting who he is. Next, we have King Sadala. Now, if you remember, the origin of the Saiyans is they originally came from planet Sadala, and then in Universe 7 they migrated to planet Tuffle after the planet was destroyed. So originally, the King Sadala was who that planet was named after, and King Sadala is Yamoshi's father. He brought peace to his planet by being strong enough to end all wars, but the Saiyans loved war, so King Sadala is not very popular. Next up, we've got Mint. Now, Mint is the advisor to King Sadala, his oldest companion. He wishes to take the throne for himself, but everyone knows it. His attempts to take over are just entertainment for the king, much to Mint's chagrin. He's the straight man on a planet of lunatics. So, Mint is trying to be a Game of Thrones character in a Dragon Ball story, leading to hilarious results. Now, he himself is very competent, very intelligent, very cunning. It's just, amongst a planet of Saiyans who love challenges, trying to be the sneaky trickster type doesn't get you very far. Now, Yuka is a very it's a hard character to talk about because she's got a lot of... because everything behind Yuka is kind of spoilers, so this one's going to be tough, but she's an awesome character. I love Yuka. and she was actually provided to us by a great artist called Amartby, and I'll link her description in the Twitter below. Her whole thing is wonderful, and I really hope we get some good auditions for her because she's a super important character. Yuka is a mysterious Saiyan with great power. She knows more than any other character, but she doesn't mind sharing it. Yuka just wants to have fun and values beauty above all else. Queen Sadala. Queen Sadala passed away before the beginning of the story, so don't expect that many lines, but she does have a part to play. She was the royal by birth, making King Sadala originally marrying into the royal bloodline. She's the one that inherited the throne. However, that uniting between the two of them made them both too strong. Without any opponents to face them, Queen Sadala fell into a very, very sad fate. Vena. Now, Vena, I just want a 90s 40s mobster. As deep as we can get with these characters, Vena, I just want Danny DeVito. I just want fast talking, New York, hey yo, over here, over there, yo boss kind of vibe. I just want someone to have fun with Vena. Vena is King Sadala's most trusted soldier and Pamukin's father. Not the strongest, but the one who has earned the most respect. He's got a good heart, but like all Saiyans, likes a good scrap, even if it means a bit of blood. That's just the business, you know. Habana. Habana is the leader of Sadala's rebel faction. She's vastly outgunned and has no real cause to fight for other than the fight itself. She doesn't like her situation. It's the only idea she has to try and keep the planet's growing desire for combat from erupting. So her rebellion isn't a rebellion for a cause, it just exists so that there is something to fight. There's something for the Saiyans to do, just fight amongst themselves. So no one's really passionate about it, and it doesn't really do a lot for anyone. It's very much just a rebellion for the sake of a rebellion. And as the leader of that, it's very frustrating. Now, we get into an actual character designed by Toriyama, Lord Chilled. Chilled is a space pirate with a small crew and a dream. He wants to become Emperor of the Universe, and no one is strong enough to stop him. At least, so it seems. Now, Chilled, when you send in an audition, make sure to follow the doc and the lines we provided, but there's a twist to our version of Chilled that I won't get into here because it's really fun. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but if you audition for Chilled, I will be sending you alternative lines that have a different reveal to him about what his personality is actually like in this series. But to get those lines, do an audition straight first following the doc with the Freezer style voice, and then I'll talk to you privately about who the real Chilled is, because he's not like how he is in the Bardock episode. This is an original take on Chilled that I'm really excited to show you, but we can't get into that now because I don't want to spoil people. Next we have Chilled's men, Toby and Kavriar. Now both of these two are also inspired by characters you may recognize if you pay attention to the lines and dialogue, but without it I'll just get into them separately and you can maybe figure it out. So Toby is one of Chilled's two crewmates. He's incredibly loyal to the captain, but still has own dreams, maybe even bigger in scale than Chilled's own. He's a gutsy, never give up knucklehead. Kavriar is stubborn, short-tempered, strong-willed and impulsive, but a master swordsman. Kavriar is one of two members of Chilled's crew. Often having to mediate between Toby and Chilled, Kavriar sometimes feels like the real one in charge. However, despite his gruff exterior, he has nothing but respect for the captain. And then past that, we have extras. Now, in this doc, feel free to just send in demo reels, or if no one's particularly catched your eye or unsure, do some line readings for us with these guys. We'll be picking extras from as many VAs as we can, because we do have a lot of extra like background character, like single line, background Saiyans and stuff to fill. So there's a big chance that a lot of people, even if you don't get one of these roles, will still ask you to do an extra just so you can be in the series, because It would be really cool to make this like a celebration of the Dragon Ball community and getting as many people as we can. So even if you don't think you're going to get one of the main roles, please do send an audition, because you might be an extra, even if it's just a small thing. Don't worry about your mic quality for them or something. Like, these are just here so we can give something back to the fans who really want to be part of this. Now finally, with all that said and done, I know I've droned on for a long time now, I'm going to go into the guidelines. So to submit auditions, send lines to legendofyamoshi@gmail.com with the subject Yamoshi and then your name. Doesn't have to be actual name, just something I can refer to you as. Make it clear when you're auditioning for the email who you're auditioning for, especially if you're sending emails with multiple characters in the same one. Record lines in MP3 or WAV format and label it your name, character name. You don't really have to do that, but it just makes my life easier, so I'd appreciate it. Now, the deadline I've extended to April 10th, 2023 at 11:59 PM PST. Just to be fair to everyone, so you have more than a month to get these lines in and get them done. Please don't wait until the last minute. Please just send them before the deadline. If you miss the deadline, I may consider you, but it's not really fair to everyone else, so it will really hurt your chances if you don't make the deadline for these auditions. So that should basically cover it. If anyone stayed as I've just gone through everything, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments below, or hit me up at Twitter at geeksforfun, or email at legendofyamoshi@gmail.com. All the links for this will be in the description. Thank you so much, and I'm really excited to get into this project, and I hope you are too. So stick with us through the coming months, and I'll be posting updates every time we have a major one. And as always, have fun, geeks.